Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elsa. I want to thank you all for staying inside when the weather is so beautiful outside. It speaks to our dedication that we want to reimagine our democracy. My name is Elsa. I am a graduate student at Harvard Business School and the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. My team here, AJ, he is the co-founder and CEO of Citizen Hub. He builds open source software for Plus.io. Cameron, he's a web developer, has a bachelor degree in web development and design. Save, he loves coding, he loves hackathon, and he's working for a SIM card company now. And then we have Ryan, who's from Virginia, also a web developer. So, when was the last time that your congressman asked you what you think about a particular issue? I would take the dead silence as, well, not sure, because they never really asked me what I think. That's where we come in, Agora. This is something that has troubled me for a long time, and for many of us, how the fact that people ask us for money and dollars, but they don't really care what we think. This is an aggregation platform that amplifies your point of view at your fingertips. So something that I learned in a campaign when I was working for the Obama campaign in 2012, it's an equation. I hope some of the people at the back can see it. People plus truth to the power of engagement times data plus tactic. It's greater than dollars plus ads per consultants. What I learned is that as much money as we put into politics to buy more ads and hire more consultants, at the end of the day, it's the people that matters. It is the engagement that matters. So a lot of us today are trying to focus on the data, the previous equation just now, on the data, the tactic, and the truth. But what Agora comes in is to increase engagement. Now, the previous chart, I'm sorry, we're a little out of sync. It's a sad truth. What does it say? The more extreme you are, the more intense you feel about an issue, the more likely you're going to engage. And that leads to a polarized nation. Those people who are willing to compromise, those people who are moderate, they won't overcome that high cost of communication of calling the congressman or sending a letter or going to a protest. But Agora comes in to lower that cost of communication so that your voice can be heard. Those people who are least likely to be heard will be heard. So here is the login page we have built into a platform with Google sign in which case we have verified users so that we don't, become hijacked by others. Okay, so basically, when you log in, you're going to see a list of questions. They're popular questions. They're answered by your community. For example, do you support universal background checks? So out of these questions, you can also search for keywords to answer certain questions. You have the choice of yes or no. This is our default right now, but we do want to go into more options, such as asking for emotions, or do you respect, or maybe, not sure. And once you voted, you're going to see a screenshot. Here is basically showing you a map of how the country has voted. You can zoom in or out into different areas and basically see how your community, your state, and your country has spoken on that issue. And not just you can see it, your representative can see it, and they can no longer ignore your point of view. So we also want to drive voter engagement. And because of the fact that we know how you vote and what your preference on issues are, we built into an API using Twilio. And staff is going to demonstrate that basically, if someone who's running for office and he has an issue that's similar to you, you can get an instant notification. There's an option to donate. You can also sign up for something when someone will run against your issue. Eventually, we want to also build a geofence so that we can put up a list of people who represent you, but also set up appointments on your Google Calendar when these people are running for office and you're supposed to be at the voting booth. So we have built into open data. So this is a full REST-based API. We basically want to become the Fitbit for political engagement. Anyone can use that data, and it's all anonymized. One other thing about campaign in the 2012 cycle is the fact that the data is not being passed on to the next candidate, and there's this data out there that's not being used. But if we can actually make that data public, it doesn't become the property of just one candidate or not. So going forward, we want to go into localization. We want this to be a version that can be used internationally. We can have people in Egypt use it, or people in Syria who want to use it. It can be used everywhere in the world to show what people think. We also want to add into features like commenting, texting, photos, and lastly, Facebook integration. So, thank you very much. Yeah, it's from scratch. The idea itself, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but the building itself, we all just put everything together.
She actually presented this morning her concept to find developers that would be able to help her build it out.
So I met these guys today, and they've been amazing.